Today we're going to become fashion designers. We can learn so much about past times or other people's cultures by looking at fashion. We can do this by looking at books or toys or even the art of other cultures or times. One way that you can become a fashion designer today is by using transfer prints. You will take your transfer plate and place it on a clipboard. Then you will place a piece of paper on top. Also clip it down with the clipboard. Now you're going to take a crayon, preferably one that does not have the wrapping on it. Place it on its side and rub it along the top of the piece of paper. Now you have a fashion model. Now our job is to dress it. You can do this a couple of different ways. One way is to take another piece of paper, place it on top, and do another rubbing. This is going to give us the idea of the size of our person that we are now dressing. So we're kind of getting an outline or a shape of our model. Now I've placed the paper on top of another texture plate. This is giving me a design. I'm taking my color and rubbing it over the top. I'm going to create a skirt, but I know exactly what size to make it because I have that outline already from the previous transfer print. Another way to do this is just create a bunch of different kinds of paper. So here I'm using a transfer print and I'm just creating that texture on my piece of paper. Next, I'm going to very carefully cut out the model that I had created. Now I can use my model as a tracer. So I'll place the model on top, use a pencil or a crayon, and then I can trace around the model to create the perfect size shirt in this case. Take a look at the shirt. It fits perfectly. Remember the other transfer print that we created? I can use that as well. This time I'm going to make a skirt. Now we have fairly thin paper for this to make our transfer prints work, so a glue stick is going to be perfect to glue this down. Once you have your model glued down, now you can go ahead and add the clothes. Another way that you can become a fashion designer today is by creating clothes for someone in a magazine or, in this case, a printout of your teacher. Now take a look. I'm adding the paint directly onto the piece of paper. The paper's pretty thin, so I have to be careful about how much I add on. But if you want to mix your colors directly on the paper, or if you want to mix it on the palette, you get to kind of experiment today. Take a look at this. Instead of rinsing out my brush with water, I'm just using a paper towel and wiping it off. This is going to keep my brush fairly dry, and it's going to make it so that it doesn't warp the paper that I'm painting on. Go ahead and design the clothes, the hair, any of the accessories. We're going to have 2 days to work on this, so you can make sure that you give it some time to dry before moving on to the next step. The next step, you will actually be using some extras. So glitter glue and some sparkles and ribbons, whatever you can find in the room. One more way that you can become a fashion designer is by dressing up. You can create your accessories, hats, outfits by using some of the clothes that we have in class, as well as sheets and belts. I can't wait to see what kind of outfits you create. Have fun becoming a fashion designer in the art studio.